Imagine waking up one day to find that the internet, our lifeline to the world, has suddenly vanished. One moment, we're streaming our favorite shows, posting updates on social media, and shopping online. The next, we're plunged into a world devoid of digital connections. This isn't a dystopian fiction, but a real possibility and a thought experiment. What happens when the digital threads that bind our world together unravel? What happens on the day the internet stops? The internet has become an integral part of our lives, so much so that it's hard to imagine a day without it. It's our go-to for everything, from checking the weather to keeping in touch with loved ones on the other side of the globe. It's our digital highway, connecting us to a world of information, entertainment, and services. But what if that highway was abruptly closed? What if our devices, those modern marvels of technology, became nothing more than expensive paperweights? Our emails, messages, and video calls all bouncing back like echoes in a void. Our digital world brought to a standstill. The ripple effect would be immediate and far-reaching. Financial markets would freeze as traders grapple with a world where instant global communication is no longer a given. Online banking, stock trading, digital currencies, all inaccessible. Economies, both big and small, thrown into disarray. Our daily lives would be disrupted too. Groceries not being restocked, deliveries not arriving, flights grounded, and public transport systems in chaos. Our world, so accustomed to the rhythm and convenience of digital life, would stutter and stumble. And the broader societal impact? Healthcare systems would strain under the weight of inaccessible patient records and disrupted telemedicine services. Education would be set back, with e-learning platforms offline and institutions scrambling to adapt. The long-term effects would be profound. An economic slowdown, job losses, environmental concerns, and disruptions to modern agriculture. Yet, amidst this chaos, we'd also see humanity's resilience, communities coming together, alternative technologies being explored, old systems being revived. Now, let's see how this sudden disconnection affects our world. In an instant, our digital communication channels crumble. The world, once connected by a complex web of data and information, falls suddenly silent. The internet, our global town square, our library, our newsroom, and our entertainment hub has vanished. The immediate effects are staggering. Imagine, if you will, the billions of conversations happening every second, abruptly halted. Emails, text messages, video calls, social media updates, all silenced in a heartbeat. It's a global game of musical chairs, where the music has stopped and everyone is left scrambling, disoriented. Our reliance on the internet for communication goes beyond just personal interactions. Businesses, governments, and organizations around the world rely on digital communication to function. With the internet gone, these systems are thrown into disarray. Workplaces become ghost towns as emails fail to send and video conferences freeze mid-sentence. Emergency services too face unprecedented challenges, with digital dispatch systems and GPS navigation rendered useless. Imagine a world without the ability to dial for help, or for responders to locate those in need swiftly. On a larger scale, the loss of the internet impacts global diplomacy and international relations. Without a means to communicate instantly, the world becomes a much bigger place, as nations struggle to maintain the dialogue that keeps our global society functioning. But it's not just about the big picture. Think about the small, everyday conveniences we take for granted. No more checking the weather on your phone before heading out. No more instant updates on the latest news or sports scores. No more sharing that cute cat picture with your friends halfway around the world. As the digital lines go silent, the financial world plunges into chaos. But that, my friends, is a story for the next scene. For now, let's take a moment to reflect on just how much we depend on the internet to communicate, and how different our world becomes when those lines of communication collapse. The stock markets freeze, online banking becomes inaccessible, and economies start to shake. Imagine a world where the pulsating heart of global finance suddenly flatlines. That is the chilling reality when the internet ceases to exist. Our financial systems have become so intertwined with the internet that they are virtually inseparable. Instantaneous digital transactions, the lifeblood of the modern economy, come to a grinding halt. No more swiping, no more clicking, pay now. The once swift and seamless flow of capital is abruptly disrupted, turning into a slow, cumbersome process. Imagine the domino effect. Stock trading platforms go silent, their screens frozen in time. Trillions of dollars are locked in cyber limbo, causing a financial shockwave that reverberates across the globe. The world's stock markets, usually a hive of activity, become eerily quiet. The indices stop fluctuating. The red and green arrows that usually flicker with frenetic energy are suddenly still, like a heart monitor that has flatlined. Now picture the panic as online banking portals become inaccessible. Paychecks can't be deposited, bills can't be paid. The simple act of checking your account balance, a modern luxury we often take for granted, becomes an impossibility. It's a stark reminder of how dependent we've become on the digital world for our daily financial needs. The effects ripple out, touching every corner of the global economy. E-commerce grinds to a halt. Retail giants that once ruled the digital marketplace are reduced to silence. The digital ads that once targeted our every click disappear, leaving a void in their wake. The economic landscape transforms overnight, becoming unrecognizable. The implications are profound. Economies, large and small, start to shake. The pillars of modern capitalism, speed, efficiency, and connectivity, crumble. We are left with a financial system stuck in the pre-internet age, struggling to function in a world that has moved on. While finances tumble, everyday life stumbles. From empty grocery shelves to grounded flights, the world grinds to a halt. In our interconnected world, the internet is the invisible thread that knits together the fabric of our daily lives. When this thread snaps, the ripple effect is profound and immediate. Just picture this. Without the internet, our modern supply chains would falter and stumble. You see, our grocery stores, pharmacies, and markets rely heavily on the internet for logistics and inventory management. Without the digital highway, these essential services would face unprecedented disruption. The once bustling aisles of supermarkets would echo with emptiness. Fresh produce, medicine, and basic necessities would be in short supply. The backbone of our society, the supply chain, would buckle under the pressure of this new reality. But it doesn't stop there. The impact would reverberate through our transportation networks as well. The internet is the guiding star for our planes, trains, and automobiles. Without it, GPS systems would malfunction, causing a cascade of chaos on our roads. Air travel would be hit hard, with flight cancellations becoming the norm rather than the exception. Public transit systems would grind to a halt, leaving millions stranded and disconnected. Imagine the confusion, the frustration, the sense of helplessness. The daily commute to work, the school run, the weekend getaway, all these everyday activities that we take for granted would become monumental challenges. And as we navigate these initial upheavals, the domino effect continues. The internet's absence touches every corner of our lives, from the food on our plates to the routes we travel. The world as we know it transforms into a landscape of uncertainty and disarray. But even in the face of such adversity, humanity has always shown a remarkable ability to adapt and overcome. Even as the world grinds to a halt, the spirit of resilience begins to stir. And as the days pass, the societal impact deepens. Healthcare systems strain, and education faces setbacks. Let's delve into this a bit deeper. The healthcare sector is one of the many aspects of our lives intricately intertwined with the internet. From patient records and appointment scheduling to telehealth services and remote monitoring of patients, the internet's absence would cause an immediate strain on the system. Imagine a world where doctors can no longer quickly access a patient's medical history or cannot provide remote consultations, which have become so common in the era of social distancing. The disruption of these services could lead to a significant increase in patient wait times and potentially a decrease in the quality of care. Moving over to education, the impact would not be any less severe. The internet has revolutionized the way we learn, making education accessible to people around the globe. However, without the internet, schools and universities would struggle to provide remote learning, and a vast amount of online educational resources would become inaccessible. This would not just be a setback for students, but also for educators who have come to rely on these resources to enhance their teaching. The internet's disappearance would also mean that students worldwide who depend on online learning platforms for their education would suddenly find themselves without a means to continue their studies. The lack of internet could widen the education gap, with those who can afford private tutors or have access to physical resources having an advantage over those who don't. In this world without internet, the digital divide becomes a chasm further exacerbating inequalities in healthcare and education. The impact of these setbacks would reverberate throughout society, affecting not just individuals but the progress of entire communities. These are just a glimpse into the broader societal impacts we could face if the internet were to suddenly stop. As society grapples with these immediate effects, long-term consequences loom. It's a sobering reminder of just how much we rely on this invisible network that connects us all and the importance of safeguarding it. The economic slowdown begins and environmental concerns rise. As the world grapples with an internetless existence, an economic slowdown is inevitable. With companies unable to operate in the digital sphere, businesses close and unemployment rates surge. Global economies, so intricately intertwined with the internet, feel the ripple effects of this unprecedented shift. The once bustling hubs of commerce and industry now echo with silence, a solemn reminder of our profound reliance on the digital world. But it's not just our economies that are at stake. The absence of the internet also strikes at the heart of modern agriculture and environmental monitoring. Farmers who once relied on precision agriculture, using internet-connected devices to monitor and optimize crop growth, are forced to revert to less efficient, traditional methods. This change impacts not just the quantity, but also the quality of our food supply. Moreover, our ability to monitor and understand our environment takes a significant hit. Real-time data on weather patterns, climate change, and natural disasters, all of which are largely internet-dependent, become inaccessible. This lack of data cripples our capacity to predict, prepare for, and respond to environmental threats, potentially exacerbating the effects of climate change and other environmental crises. And yet, while the internet's absence brings about challenges of a magnitude we've never faced before, it also brings to light the resilience of the human spirit. In the face of such adversity, humans adapt. We find ways to keep economies running, to feed our populations, and to protect our planet, even without the digital tools we've come to rely on. In the end, our world without the internet becomes a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. A stark reminder that while technology may augment our abilities, it is our inherent resilience that truly shapes our destiny. In the face of such adversity, humans adapt. Communities unite, and alternative technologies come to the forefront. As our digital world grinds to a halt, our innate human resilience shines through. When the internet, our modern-day lifeline, abruptly disappears, we don't crumble. Instead, we adapt and find new ways to survive and thrive. Communities around the world band together, pooling resources and expertise. Neighbors become more than just people living next door. They become our support systems, our connection to the world. We start to relearn the art of communication, of face-to-face interaction. We rediscover the importance of local markets, of supporting the small businesses in our neighborhoods. In the absence of global supply chains, we turn to local farms and producers, learning to appreciate the bounty that our local environments provide. We learn to value what's in our own backyards, understanding that self-sufficiency is not just a romantic ideal but a crucial survival skill. But it's not just about going back to the ways of the past. We also look to the future, to alternative technologies that can fill the void left by the internet. We dust off old radios, turning to shortwave and ham radios for long-distance communication. Satellite phones, once the domain of explorers and adventurers, become a lifeline for many, connecting us to the larger world. We also see a resurgence of old technologies like fax machines and landline telephones, which become vital tools in our new world. And remember those libraries brimming with books and knowledge? They become our search engines, the places we turn to for information and learning. In this environment, we learn to adapt, to make do with what we have, to find joy in simplicity. We learn the value of human connection, of community, and of resilience. We learn that even in the face of adversity, we have the power to adapt and overcome. In this new world, we're reminded of our resilience and adaptability. As we rebuild and reconnect, we reflect on our reliance on the internet. This vast, invisible web has intricately woven itself into the fabric of our lives, shaping our world in ways we often take for granted. It's given us the ability to connect with people halfway across the globe, access information at the click of a button, and even change the way we work, learn, and entertain ourselves. Without it, life as we know it would change drastically. Yet as daunting as this prospect may seem, it also presents an opportunity for us to rekindle our connection with the physical world, to rediscover the joy of face-to-face conversations, and to rely on our resourcefulness in ways we may have forgotten. In a world without internet, how would you adapt? What would be the hardest part for you? Share your thoughts in the comments below.